Listen closely. What I'm about to tell you isn't the bedtime wisdom your father whispered, not the recycled lessons your teachers drilled into you, and certainly not the fairy tale society feeds you to keep you obedient. No, what you're about to hear is the kind of truth that splits your life into two eras, before you knew it and after. 5 centuries ago, a man named Niccolò Machiavelli tore the mask off humanity and revealed the darkest laws of power ever written. His words were so dangerous the church tried to erase them, but kings, generals, presidents, and CEOs studied them in secret. They cursed his name in public while quietly building empires from his playbook. Because Machiavelli wasn't writing theories. He wrote the operating manual for human beings. Not how we wish we worked, but how we truly do. And once you see it, you'll never unsee it. So ask yourself, why didn't your teachers ever mention this? Why did your parents avoid it? Why does society brand strategy as manipulation and power as evil? The answer is simple. The blind are easier to control. Weak men raise weaker men, and weakness is what keeps the system alive. Machiavelli warned us, the man who tries to be good in all things will be ruined among the many who are not good. Ignorance is not virtue. Ignorance is weakness, and weakness is blood in the water. From this moment on, every smile will look like a mask. Every promise will sound like bait. Every moral command will feel like a chain. The blindfold is gone, and the only question left is this. Will you wield this truth, or will it destroy you? They told you man is rational, that we weigh options, calculate risks, and choose wisely. That logic rules the mind, and the mind rules the world. That lie is the most dangerous poison you've ever swallowed. Machiavelli knew the truth centuries ago when he wrote, men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see, but few can feel. Translation: people don't choose what's true. They choose what looks true, what feels right, what comforts them in the moment. Most don't want truth. They want comfort. The man in a dying relationship doesn't want advice. He wants the illusion he's still loved. The broke coworker doesn't want discipline. He wants the ritual of his $6 coffee. The woman who swears she wants a nice guy craves the rush of danger, the thrill of uncertainty, the fire that burns even as it scars her. Logic collapses the moment it collides with desire. Reason evaporates when fear, lust, or status step into the room. And here's where you've been losing. You still believe people are persuaded by facts. They're not. Facts don't move people. Feelings do. The man who commands emotion commands the room. He doesn't waste energy proving he's right. He makes others feel he's right. And that is infinitely more powerful. History proves it. Hitler didn't rise on spreadsheets. He rose on speeches that ignited rage and hope. Corporations don't sell soda with chemical formulas. They sell happiness in a bottle. Religions don't spread by debate. They spread by seizing hearts, fears, and desires. This is why you lose arguments. This is why your advice is ignored. This is why the people you want to influence keep slipping away. Because you still cling to the myth that humans are rational. They're not. They're addicts chasing their next emotional fix. So here is your first dark law. Stop trying to change minds with facts. Start shaping emotions. Want someone to follow you? Don't preach what's good for them. Make them feel good about themselves. Want to influence a partner? Don't argue with logic. Make them feel the sting of losing you or the joy of pleasing you. Want to dominate in business? Don't bury people in data. Tell a story that makes them believe you are the inevitable winner. The man who argues with facts is a school teacher. The man who bends emotions is a king. And once you see this, the world is never the same. Every smile, every excuse, every truth becomes nothing more than a mask. And when you learn to pierce the mask, you'll see how easy it is to pull the strings. Strip away the polite smiles. Strip away the sermons on morality, the speeches about kindness, the illusions of equality. And what remains? Two kinds of men, predators and prey. Nothing more, nothing less. That law was written in blood long before governments, religions, or courts existed. The strong take, the weak are taken from. And here's the cruel twist. Weakness doesn't just fail to protect you, it invites the predator. It signals you like blood in the water. Why does the bully pick the quiet kid instead of the fighter? Why do corporations cut the weakest employees first? Why does a woman abandon the man who bends, yet cling to the one who stands unshaken? Because predators always choose the easy meal. Machiavelli knew this. He wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Not because fear is noble, but because fear keeps the wolves away. Love without strength is a trap waiting to spring. Fear without love still secures survival." And here's the darker truth. Weak men don't just destroy themselves. They corrode everyone around them. A weak man drains the strong until they cast him off. A weak man forces others to carry his weight, then collapses them under it. A weak man becomes a black hole, pulling everyone down with him. At least the cruel man stands on his own. The weak man leaves nothing but ruin in his wake. And yet society tells you to be harmless, to be soft, to show weakness and call it sensitivity. They tell you this makes you good. It doesn't. A man who cannot defend himself, his family, or his reputation is not good. He is a liability, and liabilities are always discarded. Strength is not optional. It is the price of survival. From this moment on, view every interaction through this lens. Who is predator? Who is prey? Who writes the rules? And who obeys them blindly? This is why women instinctively chase men who radiate strength, because weakness cannot protect them. This is why true leaders rise, because people would rather follow the strong than be devoured in the chaos of the weak. So choose predator or prey. There is no third option. Society told you to be nice. Your parents told you to be polite. Your teachers told you to be agreeable, a team player, and you believed them. But here is the brutal truth. Niceness is not goodness. Niceness is fear with a smile. Obedience disguised as virtue. Weakness in costume. The nice guy avoids conflict, not because he is moral, but because he is terrified of rejection. He bends so he won't break, and in bending, he shatters himself. Machiavelli warned us, men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims for his deceptions. The nice guy is that victim, every single time. Look around you. Why do women claim to want the nice guy, yet fall for the rule breaker? Because respect is never given to weakness. Why do corporations praise the team player, yet promote the ruthless strategist? Because power doesn't reward approval, it rewards results. Why do friends nod politely at the nice guy, but follow the one who stands firm even when hated? Because deep down, everyone knows, niceness is cheap. Goodness, however, is something else entirely. Good is having the hard conversation no one else dares to. Good is speaking the truth even when it burns. Good is standing unshaken in your principles, even if it costs you love, approval, or comfort. Nice men beg for approval. Good men command respect. And here's the dark twist. Women don't respect the nice guy. Bosses don't trust the nice guy. Friends don't follow the nice guy. Because niceness without strength isn't virtue, it's repulsion. History proves it. Caesar, Alexander, Napoleon. They could be merciful, they could be generous, but only when it served their power. Never at the cost of their strength. Look at modern power. CEOs, presidents, champions. Are they nice guys? Not a chance. They're fair. They're just. They protect their allies. But they never beg for approval. They don't fear rejection. They don't tremble at being disliked. And that's why they lead. You can be kind without being weak. You can be good without being nice. But you cannot be respected if you are weak. So here is your law. Stop chasing approval. Start demanding respect. Because in the hierarchy of power, the worst fate isn't to be hated. It's to be ignored. Your father told you loyalty is everything. Be loyal to your friends. Be loyal to your company. Be loyal to your woman. But Machiavelli saw the world not as it pretends to be, but as it is. And his warning was brutal. Since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved. Why? Because love is fragile. Love is conditional. Love survives only as long as it benefits the one giving it. Think about it. The friend who only calls when he needs something. The company that preaches, "We're a family," until the next round of layoffs. The woman who demands your commitment while keeping her own options open. That isn't loyalty. That's exploitation wearing loyalty's mask. Here's what most men never understand. Loyalty without reciprocity isn't noble, it's weakness. The man who keeps giving loyalty to those who don't return it isn't virtuous. He's a fool. And fools exist to be used. Look at the men who truly wield power. Not the pretenders, but the real ones. Do they stay loyal after betrayal, after disrespect, after being taken for granted? Absolutely not. They are strategically loyal. They understand loyalty as a contract. And when that contract is broken, all bets are off. The weak man clings to loyalty like a drowning man clings to driftwood. The strong man knows loyalty is not a leash around his neck. It is a weapon in his hands. Machiavelli saw kings trust too much and end up stabbed in the back. He watched leaders believe love would protect them, only to be devoured by the very people who swore allegiance. And nothing has changed. So here is your law. Be generous with your loyalty, but ruthless in withdrawing it. Test people. See who shows up when there's nothing in it for them. Watch who stands beside you in storms, not just in sunshine. Never keep giving to those who bleed you dry. A man who demands loyalty but never returns it is a tyrant. But a man who keeps giving loyalty to those who never return it, he's a slave. And slaves are not remembered. They are broken. A man without reputation is already dead. He just doesn't know it yet. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." It doesn't matter who you truly are. What matters is who they believe you are. And this is where most men fail. They think authenticity means showing everything. They overshare. They confess their fears. They expose their doubts. They bleed in public, and then wonder why no one respects them. The world doesn't reward the real you. The world rewards the strategic you. Reputation is armor. It makes enemies hesitate. It makes allies obey. With a strong reputation, you don't have to prove yourself. With a weak one, even your friends doubt you. Think of Alexander the Great. He didn't just conquer with armies. He conquered with myth. Tales spread that he was invincible, touched by the gods. His enemies believed it before battle even began. Or look at Steve Jobs. He didn't just build Apple. He built an aura. Investors, employees, even rivals bent to his will, not because of spreadsheets, but because his reputation distorted reality. Now compare that to the men you know who constantly explain themselves, who complain, who justify, who beg to be understood. They're not respected. They're pitied, and pity is poison. Reputation is not truth. It is perception, and perception is reality. If you don't control it, someone else will. Want to be seen as competent? Don't whine about problems, present solutions. Want to be seen as valuable? Don't always be available. Scarcity creates worth. Want to be seen as powerful? Don't explain your decisions to those who can't change them. This is strategic authenticity. Reveal only the parts of yourself that serve your goals and bury the rest in silence. Here's the cruelest truth. Once your reputation cracks, it may never recover. Years of work can be shattered in a single night, and in the game of power, there are no second chances. Guard your reputation more fiercely than your money, more fiercely than your relationships. Guard it as if it were your life, because it is. Reputation is your passport into power, your armor against betrayal, your sword against doubt. Without it, you are already exiled. Most men believe peace is the norm and war is the exception. Machiavelli knew the opposite. He wrote, "There is no avoiding war. It can only be postponed to the advantage of others." Understand this. Conflict is not something that might happen. Conflict is always happening. In silence, in whispers, in shadows. The only question is whether you're ready for it or whether you'll be devoured when it comes. Your life is a battlefield. In your career, someone is watching your position, waiting for you to stumble so they can replace you. In your relationships, another man circles, ready to take your place the moment you grow weak. In your social world, someone is testing your boundaries, pushing, probing, seeing how far they can go before you finally snap. If you're not prepared for war, you've already lost. The men who rise above, the ones you admire, are never surprised by conflict. They expect it. They train for it. They prepare during peace so they don't bleed during war. A warrior doesn't sharpen his blade when the enemy arrives. He sharpens it every morning, especially when the world looks calm. History proves it. Nations stockpile weapons in times of peace. Corporations hoard cash long before recessions hit. Predators stay lean and hungry even when prey is plentiful. The question is, do you prepare when no one's watching, or do you grow soft believing in the illusion of peace? Machiavelli gave us the parable. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves. Do you see it? You must be both. The fox, cunning enough to detect danger before it strikes. The lion, strong enough to crush it when it does. Most men choose one. They are clever but weak, like the fox torn apart by wolves, or strong but blind, like the lion caught in traps. But the man who becomes both, fox and lion, that man is untouchable. So here is your law. Don't start wars, but be prepared to finish every single one. Because here's the hidden truth. The man visibly prepared for war rarely has to fight. Predators sense strength, and they always choose the weaker target. Forge yourself into that man. Train when others rest, save when others spend, study when others are distracted, become the weapon before the battle begins. And when war finally arrives, and it will, you won't panic. You'll already be ready. People like to imagine honesty rules the world. That truth always rises. That integrity will protect you. That's the fairy tale. Machiavelli tore through the illusion when he wrote, "A prince never lacks legitimate reasons to break his promises." He didn't mean some rulers lie. He meant all of them do. Because deception is not corruption. Deception is survival. Look at nature. The fox feigns weakness to lure prey. The snake camouflages itself before striking. The anglerfish hides in darkness, luring victims straight into its jaws. Humans are no different. Politicians sell you dreams they never intend to deliver. Corporations poison you with one hand while selling family joy and freedom with the other. Even inside your home, people swear forever until forever costs them something. Then forever ends overnight. And yet men still cling to the illusion that honesty will save them. They believe if they're good enough, sincere enough, the world will reward them. Fools. The deceiver will never lack victims because men are desperate for the lie that comforts them. Here's the brutal law. If you refuse to deceive, you will still be deceived. If you refuse to play the game, you will still be played as a piece on someone else's board. Does this mean lie recklessly, betray at every turn, cheat for the thrill? No. That's what idiots mistake for power. Real deception is controlled, strategic, a mask when needed, a knife when required. Speak truth when it strengthens you. Lie when it protects you. Break promises when keeping them would destroy you. And above all, never forget, everyone else is already playing this game. The so-called honest man is not noble. He is prey. And once you see this, truly see it, the world will never look the same again. Every promise, bait, every oath, a mask, every virtue preached by the powerful, nothing more than camouflage for ambition. The weak cling to honesty and call it purity. The strong wield deception and call it survival. So you must choose. Die as prey with clean hands, or live as predator with blood on yours. You were told morality is absolute, that good is always good, evil always evil, that the righteous are rewarded and the wicked punished. But that fairy tale exists for one reason, to keep men obedient. Machiavelli saw what most never will. Morality is not truth. Morality is control. Think. Who decides what is good? Not you, not the masses. The powerful decide. When rulers want obedience, submission becomes virtue. When leaders want sacrifice, dying for them becomes honor. When elites want dominance, anything that threatens their authority becomes evil. And the masses swallow it whole because morality feels safe. It gives the illusion of order. It lets them believe justice always wins. But history spits in their faces. The church burned men alive in the name of morality. Empires justified slavery, conquest, and genocide in the name of morality. Modern governments bomb cities and call it defending freedom. Do you see it now? Morality isn't about truth. It's about narrative. And those who control the narrative control morality itself. Here's the darker twist. The powerful don't even obey the morality they force on you. They don't have to. They invent it for you. They tell you lying is wrong while deceiving you daily. They tell you ruthlessness is evil while crushing competitors without mercy. They tell you selfishness is wicked while hoarding wealth beyond measure. Why? Because populations that cling to fixed morality are easy to rule. They police themselves. They bow to authority thinking it righteous. Meanwhile, rulers break every rule they preach. Machiavelli stripped the illusion bare. A prince must learn how not to be good and to use this knowledge according to necessity. That is the real law. Don't discard morality entirely. Wield it. Appear moral when it serves you. Break morality when survival demands it. Above all, never become prisoner to another man's moral code. The man who clings blindly to morality is no saint. He is a pawn. But the man who bends morality to his will, he is king. Strip morality away. Strip the speeches, the flags, the prayers. What remains is one truth. Men are moved by only two forces, fear and reward. Machiavelli knew it. Kings keep crowns not through divine right, but because subjects fear their wrath more than they hate their rule. Corporations control workers not with love, but with the whip of unemployment and the dangling carrot of promotion. Parents shape children not just with wisdom, but with punishments and rewards stitched into daily life. This is the hidden economy of the world. Not money, not honor, fear and reward. Look around. The politician who threatens enemies then offers tax breaks. The preacher who warns of hellfire then promises paradise. The lover who withholds affection then floods it back in waves. These aren't coincidences. They are tactics as old as humanity. Most men fail because they only play one side. They try to rule with love alone, giving endlessly until their gifts lose value. Or they try to rule with fear alone, until rebellion festers in the shadows. Machiavelli knew the art lies in balance. Too much reward breeds entitlement. Too much fear breeds revolt. But the man who shifts between both, who withholds to create hunger, then delivers at the peak of desire, that man forges loyalty stronger than chains. That's why the abused stay bound to their abuser. Cruelty followed by kindness. Storm followed by calm. The cycle itself becomes the addiction. Think of the tyrant who clings to power for decades. Why does he endure? Because he punishes just enough to keep fear alive, yet rewards just enough to keep hope from dying. This is the law. He who masters the balance of fear and reward masters men. Now turn the mirror on yourself. How do you lead? Through endless giving, begging for love, or through cold fear, forcing obedience? Both are weak. The true Machiavellian mixes poison with honey, pain with pleasure, until dependence is complete and escape feels impossible. Ask yourself, what does this person fear losing most? What do they crave most desperately? If you can become the one who controls both, you own them. They tell you trust is sacred, solid, eternal. But Machiavelli knew better. Trust is not stone. Trust is glass. It shines, it dazzles, it reflects light. But the moment it cracks, it shatters. And once broken, it is never whole again. Here is the first law. Trust is temporary. It lasts only as long as it serves both sides. Think about it. How fast did a friend's trust vanish the moment you failed to meet his needs? How quickly did your faith in a leader collapse after one betrayal? How many relationships have crumbled from a single broken promise, no matter how many good deeds came before? This isn't the exception. This is the rule. The second law, trust doesn't need to be real. It only needs to be convincing. The con artist thrives not because he is trustworthy, but because he appears trustworthy. The politician doesn't need genuine trust, just enough to win votes. The seducer doesn't require unconditional trust, only enough to lower defenses. And the third darkest law, The man who trusts too much is easier to control than the man who trusts nothing. Blind trust is a leash, a rope you hand to another, one they can tighten around your throat whenever they wish. This is why weak men are devoured. They believe trust is proof of love, proof of honor, proof of morality. But in truth, trust is nothing but leverage. And the one who understands this is always the one holding the leash. So carve this into your mind. Never depend on trust. Use it, shape it, exploit it, but never stake your survival on it. Because trust is not stone, it is glass, and glass was made to break. Now you've seen what most men never will, that humans are not rational, they are emotional. That loyalty without reciprocity is weakness. That reputation is armor sharper than steel. That war is not coming, it is always here. That kindness is weakness in disguise. That fear outlasts love. That deception is survival. That morality is a cage. That trust is glass. These are the forbidden laws. The truths society hides because they are too dangerous. Because once you see them, there is no going back. From this moment forward, every smile will look like a mask. Every promise will sound like bait. Every sermon on virtue will feel like a chain. The blindfold is gone, and now comes the most dangerous part: knowledge. In the hands of the weak, it festers into paranoia, and they collapse beneath it. But in the hands of the strong, it becomes power. Power sharp enough to bend the world to their will. So the question is no longer, will you learn these truths? You already have. The question is, will you use them? Will you bury this knowledge, pretend you never heard it, and return to the herd? Or will you carry it into battle, wield it like a blade, and rise above the blind? Because Machiavelli did not give us warnings alone. He left us blueprints. Blueprints for influence, for dominance, for survival. And I will show you every single one. But be warned, the next lesson will not make you comfortable. It will make you untouchable. And once that happens, you will never be ignored again.